Friends, welcome once again to a Friday evening hymn sing here at the First Baptist Church. We are so glad that you have decided to join us tonight to lift up your voices alongside us in praise and thanksgiving. We come together as God's people, whether we gather in this space or whether we take a break from our lives in our living rooms, on the bus, or wherever you may find yourself tonight, to remind ourselves that we are God's family, that wherever we may be, whoever we may be, we are God's. So join us this night as we lift our voices in praise and song.
Our first hymn for this evening's hymn sing is Brethren, We Have Met to Worship, verses 1 and 4. Since for the first week in November happens to be a communion Sunday here in our congregation. So our middle hymn for this evening is Let Us Break Bread Together, all 3 verses.
On
one more hymn for our hymn sing this evening, and this is the one that I will be telling the story about. So the text of our hymn this evening was written by someone who was considered one of England's greatest hymnists. And his name was Henry Light, and he was the author of many hymns that many of you will be familiar with, such as Abide With Me, Jesus, I My Cross Have Taken, and God of Mercy, God of Grace. For 23 years, Henry Light pastored at the local church in Brixham and lived on a beautiful estate on the water. And it was there, in the tranquility of that house and grounds, that Henry wrote most of his sermons, poems, and hymns. Despite frail health and weak lungs, Henry established a Sunday school of 800 children. In addition to preaching, he ministered to sailors on the docks and wrote hymns and poems. In 1834, he published a small book that included this now famous hymn based on Psalm 103. This hymn was later chosen by Princess Elizabeth, now Queen Elizabeth II, for her wedding hymn in Westminster Abbey in November of 1947, which happened to be the 100th anniversary of Light's death. The hymn that we will be concluding our hymn sing with this evening is Praise My Soul, the King of Heaven, and we will be singing verses 1, 3, and 4.
Friends, this week may you go in peace. May the rhythms and tunes that we sang aloud this night continue to ring in your hearts this week. May the faith that undergirds these songs strengthen you for the week that is to come. Amen.